guys! So the story that I'm going to be reading is called Horton Hears a Who by Dr. Seuss. And maybe you've probably seen or read Horton Hears a Who. They've made it into a short animated story and a long movie version too. And then of course you have the book here. This has been around for many years. It's a great story about an elephant who discovered a small little world on a tiny little speck. And everyone thought he was crazy because he wanted to protect that small little speck because he kept hearing voices in it. But nobody else could hear it but Horton. And he wanted to protect it and do what he could, because even though they're so small, it was still important that he kept them safe and that nothing happened to them. They didn't get hurt, they didn't get harmed by anyone or anything. And he wanted to continue to protect them, even if people around him told him that that's just wrong. You're weird, you're crazy. That's just not right. So, and he just kept on going, and let's see what happens if everyone figures out that maybe Horton isn't crazy at all. All right. So, Horton Hears a Who. On the 15th of May, in the jungle of Newell, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. There it is, right there, the little speck. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound. That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around. Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton, but who are you? Where? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air. Oh! I say, murmured Horton, I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So you know what I think? Why, I think there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him, because after all, a person's a person, no matter how small. So, gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the dust speck and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. So it's so tiny. He put it right there on top of the clover so it would have a nice soft place to rest, and he can keep an eye on it. Humph! Humphed a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo. The young kangaroo in her pouch said, humph, too. Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there never has been. Oh, she doesn't believe it. Look, there they are, the little people on top of the speck. Believe me, said Horton, I tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen. I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's 2, even 3, even 4, quite likely. A family for all that we know. A family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them. Just please let them be. Oh, I think you're a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too! You're the biggest blame of fool in the jungle of Newell, and the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool. And the kangaroos Oh, what terrible splashing! The elephant frowned. I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they. So he plucked up the clover and hustled away. So if you left them the speck on the clover, somebody could come by and accidentally hurt them. So Horton realized it's probably better that he takes the clover with him with a speck on it to keep them safe. I think that's a good plan too. Through the high jungle treetops, the news quickly spread. He talks to a speck of dust. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower. And Horton walked, worrying almost an hour. Should I put this speck down? Horton thought with alarm. If I do, these small persons might come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person's a person, no matter how small. So he kind of, for a second, debated, should I put it down so people will stop talking about me and thinking I'm crazy? But then he realized, no, I need to stick with this because there's people that are depending on me. Even if nobody else can hear the people on the speck, I need to protect them and keep them safe. Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could just barely hear it. Speak up, please, said Horton. He put his ear near to it. My friend, came the voice, you're a very fine friend. You've helped all of us folks on this dust speck no end. You've saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You've saved all our churches and grocery stores. So little speck is talking to him. He has to put it super close so he can hear. You mean, Horton gasped, you have buildings there too? So look, here's everything that's on the speck. Wow. So it looks like it's a whole town full of people that live on the dust speck. Horton, wow, it's good that you're defending and helping these people. Oh, yes, piped the voice. We most certainly do. I know, called the voice. I'm too small to be seen, but I'm a mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us we aren't big. They are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and we Whos are all thankful and grateful to you. And Horton called back to the mayor of the town. You're safe now. Don't worry. I won't let you down. So yay. So Horton has even been given much of a stronger stance on keeping these people safe, the Whoville people. So now he knows it doesn't matter what anyone says. He's going to keep the speck safe. But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting, What rot! The elephant's talking to Whos who are not! Ha! There aren't any Whos, and they don't have a mayor, and we're going to stop all this nonsense, so there! Oh no! They're going to go for the speck! They snatched Horton's clover. They carried it off to a black-bottomed eagle named Vlad Vlakikoff. a mighty strong eagle of very swift wing. And they said, "Will you kindly get rid of this thing?" And before the poor elephant could even speak, the eagle flew off with the flower in his beak. No! Oh no, the speck is gone. What is Horton going to do? All that late afternoon and far into the night, the black-bottomed bird flapped his wing in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, "Please don't harm all my little folks, who have as much right to live as us bigger folks." But far, far beyond them, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulder called back, "Quit your yapping! I'll fly the night through, I'm a bird, I don't mind it. I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never find it." Oh no! So Horton's still trying to get them, but Horton can't fly. Oh, he's doing his best to try to convince the bird to let him go. But he's going to go hide it where he can't find it. Oh no, what is that? At 6:56 the next morning he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it. He let that small clover drop somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. "Find that," sneered the bird, "but I think you will fail." And he left with a flip of his black-bottomed tail. What a horrible thing to do! He knew it would be super-duper hard to try to find the one speck on the one clover in a field of millions of clovers. Oh, do you think Horton's going to give up, or do you think he's going to do his best to find that one speck on top of that one clover in a field full of clovers? "I'll find it," said Horton. "I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on the small speck of dust." And clover by clover with care, he picked up and searched them and called, "Are you there?" But clover by clover he found that the one that he sought for was just not found. And by noon poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. Look, he's done all of these, and there's still so much more to do. Do you think he can do it? I think let's keep encouraging Horton. Come on, Horton, you can do it. You can find them. We believe in you. Then, on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last on the 3 millionth flower. "My friends," cried the elephant, "do tell me, do tell. Are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well?" Look, there they are, right there. Oh my gosh, he never gave up. He was continually going to do his best to protect them. What a good friend. From down on the speck came the voice of the mayor. "We've really had some trouble, much more than our share, when that black-bottomed birdie let go and we dropped. We landed so hard that our clocks have all stopped. Our teapots are broken, our rocking chairs smashed, and our basketball tiles all blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please," pleaded that voice of the mayor's, "will you stick by us Whos while we're making repairs?" Oh my goodness, look at all the things that happened when the bird dropped them from the sky. Oof. They have a lot of work to do. Then they have to stay protected. "Of course," Horton answered. "Of course I will stick. I'll stick by you small folks through thin and through thick." Humphed a voice. "For almost 2 days you've run wild and insisted on chatting with persons who've never existed. Such carryings on in our peaceful jungle. We've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. I'm here to state, snapped the big kangaroo, that your silly nonsensical game is all through. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too! What are they going to do? With the help of the Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws, whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped. And you're going to be caged. And as for your dust speck, ha! That we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of bezelnut oil. Boil it, gasped Horton. Oh, that you can't do. It's full of persons. They'll prove it to you. Oh, no. They're going to boil the speck in oil. Oh, Horton, please do what you can to make them believe in you. Mr. Mayor, Horton called. Mr. Mayor, you've got to prove now that you really are there. So call a big meeting, get everyone out, make every who holler, make every who shout, make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in a bezelnut stew. Oh, no. And down on the speck, the scared little mayor quickly called a big meeting in Whoville town square. And his people cried loudly, they cried out in fear. We are here, we are here, we are here, we are here. So they keep shouting, we are here. Can they hear them? The elephant smiled. That was as clear as a bell. You kangaroo surely heard that very well. All I heard, snapped the big kangaroo, was the breeze, the faint sound of wind through the far distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me neither. Oh no, they didn't hear it. What are they going to do? There's the oil. No, 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 we don't want them to be boiled alive. Grab him, they shouted, and the cage the big dope. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope. Tie the knots tight so we'll never shake loose. Then dunk that dumb speck in bezelnut juice. Oh, no. Horton fought back with great vigor and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. They beat him. They mauled him. They started to haul him into his cage, but he managed to call to the mayor, Don't give up. I believe in you all. A person's a person no matter how small. And you very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on now, try. So he wants them, he's encouraging them to keep doing it. Be louder. Do whatever you can to make them hear you. So there they are. Look, they even got out instruments to make even louder noises. The mayor grabbed a tom-tom. He started to smack it, and all over Whoville they whopped up a racket. They rattled in kettles. They beat on brass pans, on garbage pail tops, and old cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas and blasted great toots, on clarinets, oompas, and boompas, and flutes. Great gusts of loud racket rang through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky, and the mayor called up through the howling and hullabaloo, Hey, Horton, how's this? Is our sound coming through? And Horton called back, I can hear you just fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't as strong and quite as mine. They don't hear a thing. Are you sure all your boys are doing their best? Are they all making noise? Are you sure every who down in Whoville is working? Quick, look through your town. Is anyone there shirking? So shirking means like not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So is there somebody in the town that's not creating all the noise? Oh, I don't know. What do you think? I would hope not. But then again, maybe that one person could be the person that isn't making noise and can make it happen. Whew. Through the town rushed the mayor from the east to the west, but everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be bipping or beeping or bipping. But it wasn't enough. All this ruckus and roar, he had to find someone to make him make more. He raced through each building. He searched floor to floor. Where is that person that's not helping? And just as he felt he was getting nowhere and almost about to give up in despair, he suddenly burst through a door, and that mayor discovered one shirker, quite hidden away in the Fairfax apartments, apartment 12J. A very small shirker named Jojo was just standing and bouncing a yo-yo, not making a sound, not a yip, not a chirp. And the mayor rushed inside and grabbed that young twerp. Oh. So just there, playing with the yo-yo, while everyone else is outside making all the noise that they can to get the other animals outside of the speck to hear them. And he climbed with the lad up the Eiffelberg Tower. "This," cried the mayor, "is your town's darkest hour. The time for all who have blood that is red to come to the aid of their country," he said. "We've got to make noises in greater amounts, so open your mouth, lad, for every voice counts." Thus he spoke as he climbed. When they got to the top, the lad cleared his throat, and he shouted out, "Yop!" And that yop, that one small extra yop, put it over. Finally, at last, from that speck on that clover, voices were heard. They rang out clear and clean, and the elephant smiled. "Do you see what I mean? They've proved they are persons, no matter how small, and their whole world was saved by the smallest of the small." "How true, yes, how true," said the big kangaroo. "And from now on, you know what I'm planning to do? From now on, I'm going to protect them with you." And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Me too. From sun in the summer, from rain when it's fallish, I'm going to protect them, no matter how smallish." What a great story. So, we learned that if you just stick with it and have faith and to what you're doing, that eventually you can convince people that it's the right thing to do, even though everyone thought that you were wrong, but you just knew that this was the right thing to do. Eventually, people will see your way and see the right thing to do is the right thing to do. And sometimes it just takes one small person to make a big difference. So great job, Horton and the town of Whoville, for believing in themselves and making it happen. All right. Thanks for joining me in another great story. Have a great day, guys.